this is James Lucas, and this is the new episode of Vegan Style Life. I'm the owner of Grape Cat. We're a vegan and eco-friendly clothing and accessories store made without cruelty. You can visit us at grapecat.com.
And I am Ellen Champion of Champion Relationship Coaching, and I help people with their relationships and people to find the right partner instead of always ending up with the wrong one. And my website is www.championrelationshipcoaching.com.
So I had an interesting week last night. I had an interesting restaurant experience last week. That's really hard to get out.
It's Monday morning.
It's Monday. So I went to Cafe Frida in New York City, and they are a vegan. They are a traditional Mexican restaurant that serves meat. Kiki Adami came in from Veganizer and veganized their whole menu. So they have a whole separate vegan menu. And when I ordered the queso fundido, and when it came, it was just a plate of vegan cheese, salsa, and some corn tortillas. I'm like, I don't think this is what I ordered. It was kind of weird. So the waiter came and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. They didn't understand what was going on in the kitchen, what you ordered." And so there's some confusion about like how it was supposed to be ordered. So they brought me my tinga tacos with sauteed wild mushrooms and onions. Uh-huh. And then the manager, it was delicious. Okay, it's spicy, so it might not be not for you. Yeah. So the waiter came over, apologized. The manager came over, apologized. The social media person came over and apologized. So the service was excellent. And so the
customer service.
Yeah. The customer service was excellent. They comped me my margarita, my queso fundido, and a giant bottle of water. So I'm looking forward to go back to try to get the whole experience. But everything was delicious. You have to ask for the vegan menu. And it was good. So I'm looking forward to going back. And so you had...
And what was the atmosphere like?
It's nice. It's right on the street. So where I sat, it was like a little sunroom, so you could sit outside, or there's the bar area, or there's an more indoor restaurant too.
Okay. And how was it expensive or?
Yeah, it was a little expensive.
Okay.
The queso fundido was $12 and the tinga tacos was $12, and those were just small plates. Their whole meals are like $18.
Yeah. Okay.
But, if you're looking for a nice Mexican-inspired meal in New York City...
I haven't had Mexican food in many years.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I made it myself.
Right.
So that sounds really cool.
It was really cool. It was delicious, so I'm looking forward to going back and getting a better experience. But they took care of everything, and they made up for it.
I mean, things happen.
It's
how you handle what happens.
Right. They handled it correctly.
And they handled it correctly.
They overhandled it.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that you were going to give them a review.
No. I mean, I posted my picture of my tacos on Instagram, but they honestly didn't know.
Okay, good. Well, because then if they knew, you don't know if everybody would be getting that experience or if they would just...
Right.
So that's why I'm asking. Yeah, okay, that sounds really great. This week I went to Chava Juice Bar as promised. And it was really nice. It's a very Hamish atmosphere. And what I mean by Hamish is, I'm sorry, that's a little Yiddish there. But what I mean by that is just like very family oriented. It's very down to earth. There's nothing fancy. It's just this very relaxed atmosphere. Which, it's great to go to very nice upscale restaurants, but it's also nice to just go and just feel like, you can wear jeans and be comfortable and relaxed. And that's the kind of place it is. My husband had the seafood salad, and I forgot the exact name, but it's the only one that said seafood salad. And I really remembered what I had, but I can't tell you what it is now. But it had avocados in it and all that. It's really good. The soup, oh my goodness, the soup was unbelievable. It was lentil soup, and it was so good. Everything comes out in a disposable plateware and so forth. So it's that kind of a place. But it was really nice. The owner was so sweet. She works as a nurse and she runs a business from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. So I don't know how she does that. But she was really so sweet, very kind. What else could I tell you? Very inexpensive, I thought. I mean, things add up, depends upon what you want. The banana bread was also to live for. It was very good. And they also had a separate room, a community room, which I thought was really cool, which I plan to rent out for workshops, actually. Nice. So that was really cool. And what else could I tell you? Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to go back. I did not go, I went for lunch. I did not go for breakfast. And I'm really dying to go there for breakfast. Okay. They have the tofu scramble and just different assortment, different things. But go, look them up on the website. It's Chava, Chava Juice Bar, and it's really good. I would suggest going.
And so Sunday I had brunch at my favorite restaurant, yes. Sprig and Vine.
Love that place.
And of course I had to get my donut fix, so they had cinnamon and sugar donuts.
I didn't even know they had donuts. Is that something new?
No, for brunch. For brunch,
oh,
they
for
always
brunch.
Yeah, for brunch they always that's one of their things sometimes. So I had that.
Yeah.
Then they had cream of mushroom soup. Their soup changes daily, so you never know what you're going to get in there, but the soup's always amazing.
Oh, okay.
And then I had what they called a chilaquiles rojos with corn tortillas, chili ranchero sauce, tofu, sweet potato, cauliflower, and cashew cream, which was amazing. So I had a Mexican-inspired week, I think, this week.
Yeah. Do you have a sombrero?
No, I should get one when I go now.
Yeah. And next week, the next time we film our podcast, I do plan to give a review on Hip City Veg. One of my favorite places.
Yes, mine too.
Okay, so we could both talk about all of our favorites, and so come, make sure you listen again, and you'll get the review on Hip City Veg in Philadelphia. They have 3 locations in Philly and 1 in DC.
Yep.
So they're growing, people. Yay.
So we got some news this week in the vegan world. There's 2 things we want to talk about. One is Chloe Coscarelli was kicked out of her restaurant this week by an arbitrator. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's heartbreaking because I've seen her since the beginning when she won on Cupcake Wars as the first vegan chef to win Cupcake Wars.
Oh, I remember that.
And so it was exciting to try her restaurant. The food's delicious there. And it seems we're getting weird things from them. It was announced that they were going to serve meat, and that's why she kind of had a problem with it. And that started this whole legal landslide of things. And now they fought back with it. She's been causing problems for the restaurant and trying to slow things down and destroying contracts and taking money that wasn't for her. So this is kind of a big hit for the vegan world because the restaurant was exploding. They have five restaurants throughout New York. There's one in Boston now. So this is kind of an interesting time to see what's going to happen if they really will serve meat now that she's gone, and hopefully she'll get her name back and maybe they'll have to change it or whatever, but hopefully they don't change it from a vegan restaurant chain to a serving meat.
Is there anything that we can do to help the situation? I wonder.
Well, I mean you can help her. We use her cookbook all the time, so the pizza dough out of here is amazing. We just made the tofu scramble out of here, which is one of my favorites now that we're going to start doing. So you can buy her cookbooks. You can check out her website.
She's adorable.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's really sweet. So some of the things they're saying kind of don't mix up with that she's this conniving woman that tried to destroy their business. She might have been naive on some of this stuff just because, but, you know.
I wonder if we email her, find out the real story and see how we could help her, and maybe we could save the restaurant.
Well, the restaurant's gone. That's not coming back. I mean, her coming back to the restaurant's not going to happen.
Okay.
So this is a big corporation that runs many restaurants. She was a small investment in it, so we'll see what happens. She's going to land fine. She's an amazing chef, so she'll be, she'll figure it out. And
she looks so young.
She's really young.
She's come far.
She's really young. And then, so also we found out that a milk dairy has now switched to only plant-based.
Elmhurst Dairy, located in Queens, New York. Mm-hmm. And there's my accent. From New York. Yeah, they stopped all the dairy operations after 90 years. And it's basically because people, not only because people, are growing vegan number, but also because people are just making healthier choices. And they're realizing that dairy isn't the way to go health-wise. So decreased profits, So the great news about that is that people are seeing, and hearing and getting more educated about animals, but also about health. And they're making wise decisions. That's the good news. The bad news is that they're not doing it for the animals. They're doing it for just to save their business and to increase profits. So unfortunately, instead of giving the animals that they did have in their operation to animal sanctuaries, they just sold them to another dairy.
Yeah, so they closed down last October.
Yeah.
And now they have the 4 plant-based milks, which that's a good sign that, and this is a big dairy. Like, they were supplying schools in New York. They were supplying different venues. So now if they can switch those plant-based milks over to give to school children, that's a big bonus too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they'll follow in Portugal's steps. And I don't know too much about this, so but I did read an article on riseofthevegan.com website, and it said that China's largest dairy company, and forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, I'm not Chinese, but it looks like Hushan Dairy or Hushain Dairy or something like that, their stock crashed 90%, erasing $4 billion, $4 billion, not million, $4 billion from its market value. So people are definitely choosing at least vegan dairy products over, not necessarily to be completely vegan, but at least choosing vegan dairy over dairy, which is a big thing.
Yeah, it is, especially
really
since we're not baby cows, and 70% of the population has what the fake disease of lactose intolerant. Yeah. So I think people are starting to catch on that they don't need to drink milk, and that causes more problems than it solves.
Oh my goodness, so much more problems. And you know what? We're the only animal, and yes, we are an animal. We are the only animal that I don't know if you have to do something there. We're the only animal that not only eats or drinks another animal's milk, but we're also the only animal that drinks milk past infancy. It's just insane what we do to ourselves. And then we wonder why we have problems. Yeah. But anyway, that's why we're here.
Okay. So our next topic is holiday meals. Now that Easter's coming up and Passover, right?
Passover, right?
Okay.
He'll do the Easter. I'll do the Passover.
For our family, a tradition was to have a ham on Easter and then all the sides. And I'm lucky that my parents are very supportive of us when we come to visit for holidays.
Yeah.
That my mom, this last Thanksgiving, my mom made everything vegan except for the turkey for them. So the mashed potatoes, the gravy, the sides were all vegan. And, you know, at Easter now, it's probably going to be the same thing. I know a lot of people don't have the same experience. It's a fight. But there are some options for you that are either pre-made, like Tofurkey has a new ham, so this would be awesome to bring to an event and just get people to try it and at least give them the experience that they don't need to have a traditional ham, that they could have this new ham without losing any flavor. It's scary ham tasting, so...
I never had ham.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't had it, then you're not going to miss it. But
But I also
someone,
don't celebrate Easter. So.
Right. So if you have that experience, then you have those memories, and you want to keep these traditions. That there's some things you can do. There's a lot of new recipes, and we'll post those over the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? How about like for Easter? There's the Easter egg hunt. That's like the one thing I know about Easter. But, you know, there are so many substitutes. You could just get the plastic ones.
Yeah,
right?
we never used actual... I mean, we decorated the Easter egg, but, you know, you can go to an art store and buy the styrofoam eggs if you want to paint those. Or there's wooden eggs that you can paint. You can paint the plastic
you could
egg.
reuse them. So that's... Very good for the environment. You don't have to.
Once you get a cool design that you like,
you
can either paint over it if you don't like it, or you know. And then we always use the plastic Easter eggs when we would do the Easter egg hunt, because then they'd be filled with money or candy or whatever. So there's a lot of good options to make chocolate Easter chocolate Easter bags now, or baskets now. So. So we'll post some links to some of our favorite chocolates, and you know, Peeps have gelatin in them. Sweet and Sarah makes a vegan.
And you know
Peep.
what? I don't know who's going to be viewing us. I'm sure there's vegans that understand what gelatin is and everything that we're saying, and then there are people who are just hopefully, you know, transitioning, and they might not know everything. So can you just let them know what gelatin is? Because a lot of people don't.
I know. It's pretty disgusting when you learn out what it is. Gelatin's pretty... my understanding, it's the ligaments, the bones that are melted down that give Jell-O that rubbery kind of feeling.
Yeah, I heard it's the hooves.
In the hooves. It's pretty much whatever they couldn't sell, they boil it down and make... this goop out of it. So, you know,
kind of gross.
It's really gross when you become educated on this stuff. You're like, I can't believe I ate that stuff.
I know. Makes you want to vomit. Yeah. Anything else about it?
No, I think yeah, I mean, I feel fortunate, so hopefully our viewers and listeners will find that even if they have to bring their own food, that they can bring enough to share so people try it. And then, you know, the V word's scary to some people.
Yes, for a lot of people. All right, so what I have to say about this is that I know that families can not know what to do with you. I feel like my family, I never have the holiday meals with my family anymore. They really don't know what to do with me, and personally, I just don't want to be at a table with a whole turkey, or, you know, I could sort of like deal with things when there's no bones and I don't hear cracking, and I don't know, I just can't stand certain things. But I just don't want to be around that. So, I mean, sometimes you can't help it because you're in a restaurant, but sometimes you can. And so anyway, it doesn't really work out that way with my family. However, one time I did have Thanksgiving with David's sister, and I was really taken aback in a good way, because she, unlike anybody I've ever had this experience with, she did research. she doesn't know much about veganism. I mean, she knows something. But she went online, she got vegan recipes for Thanksgiving. So she made us a whole separate entree, some things we could both have, all things we could, they could have ours, but we can't have theirs. But it was basically almost 2 separate meals. And she just did all that work, and I just couldn't stop hugging her. I thought she was just such a sweetheart for that. But most people won't do that.
Yeah.
They won't do all the research and so forth. So, one of the things that I want to bring up is that when you are going, and you knew, and maybe these people don't know, I don't know who you're going to, friends or family, and they might not know, and it might be an uncomfortable situation, but it doesn't have to be all that uncomfortable, honestly. Just if you know who's hosting or the hostess is, talk to them and let them know, listen, I'm vegan, this is what it means, because believe me, a lot of people say they know what it means and they don't. So just confirm they really get what it means.
It's not fish.
It's not fish, right. It's not honey. It's not, so just make sure that they really get it, because some people do confuse between being vegan and vegetarian and pescatarian, and there's just so many anions or whatever. Yeah. So, so just talk to them and figure things out. Maybe they say no, I want to make everything, don't worry about it. You could send them information online. There's tons of it. I have a list right in front of me about 21 foolproof vegan recipe substitutions. There's just tons of information online and on PETA.com and, .org. .org. But, you don't have to go to PETA. It's just all over. So that's really good. But you could also bring your own food, which I've done many times. Bring your own food. This way you don't have to worry about it. You could trust it. I remember going to my sons told me they went to my father's house, and he had, he served them beans or something, or soup. I don't remember, something like that. It was a while ago. But there was meat in it. He opened up a can. It's not like he made it, right. But there was ingredients in there. He just thought, oh, well, it said beans, or, so it was safe. There was nothing there that said chicken or beef, so he thought it was safe. And my son said, well, no, look at this. And he goes, oh, it'll be good for you. Don't worry about it. Just have it. And of course, my sons didn't, but you just can't trust. Even if they mean well, you might not be able to fully trust. So just go by your instincts, please. And it's very simple. Just bring your own food. It's really okay.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. It's like at least you're sharing the day with someone.
Right. Make it not about the food. I know that's hard, because in our society, it's always about the food. But if you could take that element out and just say, you know what, I just want to celebrate the holiday with people who I love, it will go a lot easier. Anyway, for Passover, I just want to say this. Being vegan, there are so many different substitutes. You can go online and you could find, a great vegan Zimmus recipe, and just, whatever it is, Kugel recipe or whatever. But the Seder plate for the ceremony, is really, I found that difficult to change, only because, tradition, if you're a traditional person, it's very, sometimes difficult. But then I started to realize I can make my own traditions. I don't have to follow a tradition just because one day years ago they said this is the way to do it. I could say this is the way I'm going to do it now. So now I have my own tradition, and so what I do is for the Ziora, I put fresh beet instead, and that's supposed to be usually a shank bone of a lamb is there. So, just the thought of it just grosses me out. I can't believe I ever did this stuff. But now I use beet to just show the blood of what happened to the animals and human beings as well. And so that's what I did. The charoset, well, that's easy enough. It's just chopped nuts, apples. Instead of honey, I put agave Or you could put maple syrup if you prefer, spices, wine. Make sure the wine is vegan if you can. Matzah, well, as long as it's not egg matzah, you're pretty good. Let me see what else. The bitter herbs, it's horseradish, that's vegan, so that's easy enough. The belza is actually, it normally is a hard-boiled egg, and to symbolize fertility and to symbolize spring coming. And for that, a lot of people put avocado, but I tend to just put a flour there. So that's what
when
I do.
I was in Miami, there was a chef there that made a vegan boiled egg. It had the white, it had the little yellow
How
in
do
them.
you do that?
He had a mold, an egg mold that made it, and then it was kind of one of those things where you're like, this is wrong that I'm eating it, but it's delicious. So,
okay.
But it was really good.
Well, but it wasn't wrong in the sense that it was vegan.
Yeah, but you get that
wrong.
psychological part that
Yes.
like when you're eating different things that
Yep. Yeah, I
that
know exactly
mimic
what
it.
you mean.
You're kind of fighting with that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Also, I'm getting off of Passover for a second, but for Easter, you could also go online. Again, there are so many vegan Easter candies
it's
and
really
so forth.
easy
It's
now.
just so easy. So that's a great thing to do. And I can't find what I was looking for. And I have here 5 tips. And I actually already put it on our website.
Oh, okay.
Not our website, our Facebook page.
On Vegan Styled Life.
Vegan
group page.
Style, yes, thank you. And I lost it here on the web. But anyway, but there's so much, a plethora of information out there. Don't be shy. All you have to do is go online and check it out. And also, I want to share this. This is a book of mine. Hope you could see this. It's Living Among Meat Eaters by Carol J. Adams. And it is filled with information about how to deal with omnivores. And there it is. And it's really good. I mean, they repeat itself, a lot of times, but the information is still solid. And it's it talks about how to deal with certain comments that you might get. I know I certainly get them.
I just got a humane meat thing, so
yeah.
I probably need to read this too, because I was like,
I could lend it to you, sure. It's a good book. And it just goes over, and there's other books too if you want. I have tons of books at home about how to deal with people. But this is a very good, the Vegetarian Survival Handbook. But it will tell you all the things that you probably would be helpful to you in speaking with people who are either just inquisitive and they just want to know and they want to learn and they want to understand, or people who are, excuse me, but jerks. And and I'm only saying that, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But let's face it, some people are just rude and they don't get it, and they feel, even if you're not attacking them, they feel sort of like they have to defend themselves, I think. And they just, they run amok with their mouth, and they really don't know what they're talking about. It's just fear and concern, or it's going against everything that they learned growing up, everything that they know and hold dear, and traditions, and just things like that. And I think that people just become afraid.
I think a lot of it is fear.
Yeah.
Or ignorance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I have. Do you have anything?
No, I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, please leave comments on the Facebook page if you have questions. We'll answer them next time, or comments, or suggestions. This is only our 2nd episode, so we're open to it.
Yes.
So also, if you could do us a favor and share this video or leave a review on iTunes, that would be helpful. And
thumbs up if you like it, please. Thumbs up us. I do have a quote I would like to leave with this quote. It doesn't have a name of the author, but it says, "Vegan because going to bed each night knowing that I did not contribute to any being's suffering makes my soul shine. And it does.
That's what it's all about,
That's
doing
what
the
it's
least
all about.
amount of harm.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. And again, everything that he said, leave comments, leave suggestions, leave ideas for us, and please like us and share us. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.